Up until recently, there have only been 2 video games that can claim to have left a profound effect on me and make me experience true, raw emotion. Those 2 games are Undertale and Hollow Knight. Undertale's pacifist route was one of the best stories I've ever experienced in a video game, and Hollow Knight's world and music were just on another level. However, a 3rd game has just entered that category, and that game is The Midnight Walk, though I think that was pretty easy to guess. I was halfway through making my next video when I started playing The Midnight Walk, but now that I've finished, I immediately put it on hold because I wanted to express just how much this game means to me. This isn't necessarily a review of the game, and for sure will be somewhat biased, considering I literally just finished playing it. Your thoughts may also be very different to mine, and that's okay. Instead, I want to do something different to my norm and just give a collection of my innermost thoughts that I wanted to express. And before we start, there will be spoilers, so if you want a fresh, untainted experience, which I'd highly recommend, the short is that this game is phenomenal, and if you're anything like me, this is one game you will not regret playing. First off, it's very difficult to gain my interest in the lore of a video game. In this game, however, the story felt so well integrated. The show not tell, the beautiful well-distributed narration, and the emotions it gets you feeling for all the different abominable looking characters made it so incredible and immersive. One obvious thing that makes this game unique is its beautiful aesthetic, that being claymation. Other than parts of Cuphead, I've personally never played a game that's used it before, and it was a huge risk for the developers to make something like this. To be one of the first of its kind to use claymation to this scale in a video game. I personally love things that are completely unique. More recently, that's something I've been striving for myself with my own videos, and I think that's one reason why this game hit so hard for me, because the developers went fully in on this insane, creepy art style. On the topic of going all in, I'd like to talk about the voice acting and the subplots. When the voice acting for a game, or anything for that matter, isn't done to the best of its ability, I feel it can often ruin the feel that was originally intended. For this game, that wasn't the case, and managed to keep up an incredible level of immersion, a few key instances being the main narrator and the Moonbird.
What's a story without a little adversity?
When it comes to the subplots, such as the one for Nobodyville, it's so unbelievably weird and unhinged, and that to me is what makes it so great. Often I feel our dreams and ideas get more sensible as we get older, but it's such a breath of fresh air when things are just crazy and completely imaginative like this. I also couldn't get far without mentioning the absolutely phenomenal soundtrack. As you can probably tell, I'm starting to run out of positive words to say by this point. The music complements the beautiful areas perfectly, and if there weren't grotesque monsters walking around, I'd actually love to just be in that world, taking it all in, listening to the music. Also, the fact that it utilised surround sound was one of the best parts. Often for scary games, I never really like wearing headphones. Here, however, headphones are an integral part of the game due to how you need to listen to where things are, and it really added another dimension to this universe. The structure is very well crafted. I originally thought this game would be nothing but fear and jump scares, but that's actually not the case. Don't get me wrong, there are scary parts, but they're so well woven between the beautiful scenes and touching moments with different characters, some of which were actually characters that tried to kill you, and now you're actually feeling empathy for them. That in itself is very difficult to pull off. That being said, if you've come for scares, you're definitely in the right place. Something I really like is a dystopian world, something that gets me questioning what happened and how it got to such a terrible state, such as both Little Nightmares games and modern Simpsons. These are the games that I often connect with the most. The lack of answers make me want to know more and form my own ideas, which is what this game does very well, while also filling you in on parts of the story. One of the many things I appreciated most about Undertale were the text boxes. They always gave more dialogue whenever you talked to the character again, which I felt made the characters seem more alive. That was also what was done here. 9 times out of 10, the characters always had something new to say. Speaking of alive, when you pick up a collectible, it gives you a description of what it is. Most of the collectibles, especially the story ones, are inanimate objects, but the descriptions refer to them yearning or longing for something, and this alone made every part of the world seem more alive, really adding to the level of immersion. The Midnight Walk reminded me of several different creative works: Little Nightmares, Dr. Seuss with a touch of Tim Burton, and Grim Fandango, all of which I love for their creative styles. Also, while playing, I noticed something that I can only assume was a nod to My Neighbor Totoro. If so, that's a pretty cool reference, and I'm betting there are more like this elsewhere. Most of the chapters were themed around a different area with its own subplot with different main characters. I just need to express how well themed each area was. Each one had a different, unique feel about it, and all the characters who originally seemed either evil or very distant had a touching story that got to me in a way I couldn't have expected that words really can't describe. I love how the story leans to the idea that when everything seems dark and bleak, if you just look up, you'll see how beautiful the night sky is, and even though it's a simple message, it's a very nice reminder. But my God, the ending. The ending was so good and so bittersweet. There wasn't really a happy ending, as you come to realise getting the sun back comes at a steep cost. And again, the music. The music in this part was the best I've ever heard, and was so powerful and fit so perfectly to the moment. Often people try to cater to too many people at once when making anything creative, and it often ends up not really landing. But with this, it's a claymation horror game with optional VR that works best with directional audio from headphones. It was very directed at a particular small audience, and it felt very sculpted to me as the player. As cringy as this sounds, an important takeaway is that nothing works like hard work. It's obvious no corners were cut, and hours upon hours of hard work must have gone into this game, and it shows. Just like with anything good, I wish there was more, but when I really think about it, the length of this game was perfect, and I know that I would have felt that way no matter how long it was. These are the types of games I personally call experience games. Games that you may only play once and may not be that long, but really make a long-lasting impact and show you don't need infinite replayability for a game to be good. It's also one of those experiences that you wish you could have over again to feel the same feeling that you once did. Unfortunately, that original experience will always be the best, and in a way I find that's what makes it more special. Out of all the video games I could have spent my money on, none could have given me more back than this one. It's not often I come across a video game that makes me completely forget about the world around me and fully focus on the game's universe. So to the developers at Moonhood Studios, I'd just like to say thank you, and I look forward to whatever you make next.